Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Allincrypto here, and today we are going to be talking about Chainlink, and it would be nothing short of rude not to, given the move that we've seen over the past week, and we were very much expecting this and are benefiting from it. However, you are going to get a second chance, I believe, for Chainlink if you've missed out, and we're going to be looking at where that second chance may occur. So many of you may be feeling FOMO. Put that emotion in a box and hide it under your bed, because that emotion will not serve you very well when it comes to the markets and speculating on them and positioning. You don't want to be an emotionally driven investor or trader. You don't want to get on board something once it's already moved a lot. You want to position before the move, like we have in my group. If you want to become a patron, please do consider checking the link out in the description. And we've also been highlighting Chainlink pretty much weekly, week in, week out on the channel. But you don't want to react off of a move. You want to position ready for the move, and you potentially are going to get a second chance at Chainlink. We're going to look at where that is going to be. You have now broken out the range that Chainlink has been in for over nearly 500 days, and it's our opinion, and it is just an opinion and only mine, that the market is the crypto markets are in for a pretty decent time despite interest rates and everything. I think there's a common, and as I say this, some of you will agree with it, misconception out there that markets go down when rates go up. Well, historically, that is actually not the case. The markets go down after rates have gone up, and usually after a period of time as the effects of rates lags. We see this with the sort of refinancing of debt and other things. But we're not going to talk about the macro. We cover that every single day in our daily market updates. So we are going to be looking at Chainlink from a technical perspective. Where I want to kick the video off, though, is with an article that very well sums up why Chainlink is such a big deal. And we've been summing up why Chainlink is such a big deal for a long time. I was fortunate to be an early investor in Chainlink back in 2018, 2019. It brought me a level of financial comfort with obviously what the markets did after 2018, 2019. And we have stressed that we think that opportunity is there again for Chainlink. Chainlink is a big deal. We know the entire world is going to be ran, certainly from a financial point of view, not just from that, perhaps from a social point of view, on distributed ledgers. Whether that be blockchains, DAGs, whatever it may be, we're still yet to see how this space really evolves. And Chainlink is going to play a key role in that from an interoperability point of view. All of these blockchains are going to need to interoperate. Just like the internet, you need to be able to, you can't just have, if the internet was fragmented, it wouldn't quite make sense. And with standardization of the internet, you've got interoperability, and Chainlink is doing a similar thing. So we're going to be talking about a number of things. Of course, we're going to start things off on the report. Great report, cites a number of the largest financial institutions out there. And then we are going to be looking at Chainlink from a technical point of view. And I'm going to be telling you where you can get back on board this chain if you choose to do so. Remember, this is not financial advice. Nothing we say and do on this channel is financial advice. It doesn't really bother me whether you buy these cryptos or not. But I do believe, and I am convicted in this belief, that the cryptocurrency market offers some amazing opportunities. And that's no different from any other technological revolution that we've seen previously, whether that be the PC revolution, whether that be the internet, the railroad revolution, the motoring industry, or whatever it may be. Blockchain is potentially or it is on the same path. I was going to say it's potentially bigger. It was actually Wells Fargo that said blockchain is on par with, and the evolution of it, or the spawning of it and the technological advancement of it, it's on par with things like electricity and the internet and such things. So we're going to be exploring all that. We're going to start things off with a report, and then we are going to dive into some technical analysis. We're going to look at volume and a number of other things, and then I'm going to love and leave you. So strap yourselves in, guys. Let's dive into the report. Bit of a different video because we are standing up. Hopefully you like the format. A little bit awkward. We're still working on our setup. We've got cameras and stuff to integrate. So we've got all that good stuff coming for you. But this was a report that was actually published on the 7th of June. And it says the world's largest financial institutions are quickly realizing the opportunity for blockchain technology to redefine capital markets. Forward-thinking banks and financial services companies are already moving operations on chain, i.e. using blockchains, to unlock deep liquidity for previously illiquid assets, reducing costs via automated workflows, and develop higher integrity markets. The industry brief provides an overview of the opportunities driving these institutions on chain, along with key technical considerations to successful capitalized on this massive economic shifts. So let's dive into the report. Over at allincrypto.com, we did a breakdown of this report. So the report is titled Why On-Chain Finance is Inevitable. And then it goes on to say the future. And it essentially reads what we have just read on the opening page. It looks at tokenized assets, a multi-$100 trillion opportunity for early adopters. Ooh. So they reckon, according to the World Economic Forum, that $867 trillion is the size of the traditional markets poised for disruption by tokenization. 97% of all institutional investors agree that tokenization will revolutionize assets and asset management. 80x expected growth rate of tokenization in private markets by 2030. The tokenization of asset classes offer the prospect of driving efficiency into capital markets, shortening value chains, and improving cost and access for investors. So we're moving towards a more and more global world. I think this is the agenda, guys. Ultimately, they want us all in a one world system. I'm getting a little George Orwellian on you. And Chainlink, I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, I think he's going to play a role in that. Maybe I have too much of a tinfoil hat on, but that is what I've synthesized in regards to the information that I have taken in over the years. It's why we think crypto is going to do so well, because it's part of the plan. Anyway, enough about that. Maybe we should do separate videos on that sort of stuff. So why tokenization? Integrity. It verifiable on-chain transactions reduce counterparty risk. Utility reduces cost via automated workflows and shared databases. Near instant asset movements across interoperability trading environments. Transparency increases audibility around previously opaque process. And you can see a tokenization of illiquid assets set to be 10% of GDP globally by 2030. So that's illiquid. So that means assets that currently are not liquid and tradable, essentially. And you can see the growth of this market that Chainlink is literally facilitating. They are the leader in this. I cannot stress that enough. 60x growth from today's levels, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I don't want to take too much time because I do want to look at things technically. Smart contracts, smart markets, automated financial market workflow, 24/7, 365 days a year payments. This is from BY and Mellon. This is what they have to say on it. 83% of senior decision makers are looking at accelerating turnaround times for processes by adopting digital assets. T+0 security settlement time achievable with blockchain technology. So right now, financial markets, some of them shut over the weekend. It's a bit of a state. Blockchain is literally revolutionizing all of this. The holy grail would be to achieve fully automated throughout the stack with tokenization using blockchain technology. Could be DAGs that get used. We like a lot of DAGs. Streamline industry process. You can see that's the industry process. Seamless interoperability for global liquidity. Cross-chain communication powers a broad financial ecosystem. What is it that Chainlink are doing? They are a fundamental player, guys, and it is, I'm going to say it's cheap where it's at, right? I'm not telling you to, and this is not an endorsement to rush in. Don't rush in. I would wait for a second chance if it was me. That's my own opinion. But then again, me and many in my group, not everyone, because we don't tell anyone what to do, have been accumulating throughout this entire time period. And we think there's an amazing opportunity with Chainlink, and this is now going to break into an uptrend. This is what we would define as a stage 1 into a stage 2, which is your uptrend, similar to what we've seen previously. But very commonly with stage 2 breakouts, you get a retest after the break. You get a second chance. This typically occurs on trendline breaks, resistance breaks, support breaks, depending on which direction you're going in, pattern breaks, so on and so forth. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. So I think actually that's it. Seamless interoperability. It talks about Swift. 12 plus global financial institutions are experimenting with using Swift and CCIP. 72% of global institutional investors indicated a preference for working with an integrated provider for all digital assets. It's from JP Morgan. 100 plus the number of blockchains that have been built with varying technical attributes that support specific software. So they're talking about like languages really there. 77% of institutional investors want accepting access to stake pools for enhancing yield on crypto assets. And you can see that with a lot of the, very interesting because they've gone after industries for that. The industry needs standards and interoperability. Different financial markets, infrastructures, and consortiums are working on the same problem in parallel. but with no clear interoperability or standardization. This leads to silos in innovations today. As DLT adoption gains critical mass, there'll be more and more drive to standardization and interoperability. This is exactly what Chainlink is doing. So that's really what I've got for you. And this, I think, very perfectly sums up why Chainlink is such a big deal. On to the price action. It's very common. You guys will know that we've been long the stock market all year. If you want to find out about that, please do consider becoming a subscriber. Become a patron if you want to take it to that next step and get meetings with me on a weekly basis and look at my portfolio and laugh at it if you want. I'm joking. I'm all about the last laugh. It's very... Microsoft was one of our poster childs this year. Okay? And we looked at Microsoft. I don't know why we've got the 9 weekly moving average on there. We want the 30. It's very common that once you get a break of what pins you as resistance, previous support, flip resistance, get rid of this. Although we'll show you, actually, we can put the volume profile on Chainlink in a second. It's very common that once you get a break, you get a retest. We see this across the board all the time. It's how it goes. And actually, we're seeing it with Bitcoin. I hope I've not drawn all over this. Yes, we have. Such a messy... I love to doodle. It's got a brain that wanders. Retest, retest. It's how it goes. You're going to see this. This is something that we teach. We teach retests and second entries. And Chainlink, I think, is likely to give you one. It wasn't just this that we saw it on. We saw it on quite a few stocks. Do we see it on Amazon? Potentially not. We are looking at a number of things on the stock market. But back to Chainlink, the volume isn't spectacular, which is a little bit of a worry. And I think that's a symptom, given how momentous the move was, of volatility. So look at your volatility is very low. It doesn't take much to move it. So what are we talking about in regards to a second chance? Well, a second chance is likely going to be a retest of this range. So it's very common. You can see the real volume showing up here. You want volume behind a move. It gives it confirmation. It gives it conviction. If you've got volume, it means that you've got participation. Okay. We saw that for Bitcoin on this break and then actually on the retest. Obviously, this has ETFs in it, but stop wandering all over the place. Back to the subject at hand. If you're looking for a second chance, and it might go high before this and you'll really get FOMO'd, it's likely potentially to do something perhaps like this, which will get everyone bearish. It will get retail bearish. Won't get everyone bearish, because if you know what you're looking at technically, you know what you're looking at technically. Only for it to then assert and really go in the direction and the real move to start. This is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, the less close it gravitates towards the point of break, the better. In regards to, that's the positive sign in regards to if you're bullish on it. However, it's very common, and take this from me, as somebody that's watched the markets for years, it's very common you get a retest before you get a reassertion. And that, I believe, could provide you a good opportunity. That's even myself may take that. We're very happy with where we stand on Chainlink. We've been highlighting it for a long time. This is a 511-day range that you've now broken out of. I think we need to definitely do a video on Chainlink's supply and the distribution of it, because there are, I think, potentially some causes for concern there, but we do think that buy pressure will outweigh on the sell pressure, and when that happens, the price goes up. So that's just my take. You may get a second chance on this. The weekly volume wasn't great, but it was still elevated, and you want to see that, and it was certainly bigger than the prior two. If you look at where the volume during this range has been, it's been on the buy side, not the sell side, and you've just had a range-bound environment that you have now broken out of. Look for that retest. That's your second entry, and then potentially off you go. So that is really all I've got for you guys. If you have enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. Let me know your thoughts on Chainlink in the description. I know there's a bit of a beef between the quant and the Chainlink community. However, I do not believe that should be the case. I think there's a place for both of these. I think they're both doing wonderful things. And yeah, let me know your thoughts, comments, and concerns in the comment section. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.